Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. Oh, I hear back. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of Warhammer Painting. We are working on Imperial Guard heads. So here you go. These are the Imperial Guard heads that we're going to be working on. I hope everyone had a good week. Hope everyone's in the mood for some good, some soft vibes and all that stuff. And, um, hope everyone's good to go. So, with that being said, let us get into the painting. Oh, let me actually grab my phone charger real quick because I will be responding to comments on Twitter as well while we're painting. Francis, how are you? Oh, there's my tea. What are we working on, Commissar? We are working on faces today. Summer, the water, face, breath away. Solar Auxilia, Ave Imperator, Johnny. No, just Imperial Guard. We're just working on faces right now and berets. I'll be looking for a bit. It's late for me. I just want to say hi. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And for those of you that don't know what I'm doing, that is the symbol of the Aquila. You interlock your thumbs, that forms the heads, or you do this, right? Here. Ah. So, you could do either this for the Aquila, or you interlock your thumbs to do the Aquila. That's how you do it. For those of you that are curious. Let's see. I'm in the mood to sing a little bit. Hills and dales, he drank from yet untasted wells. He sipped and looked in mirror, and saw stars appear as gems upon the silver thread above the shadows of his head. The world was fair, the mountains tall, in elder days before the fall of mighty kings in Nagathrond and Gondolin, who now beyond the western seas have passed away, for the world was fair in Durin's day. A king he was on carven throne in many pillared halls of stone, with golden roof and silver floor and runes of power upon the door, the light of sun and star and moon in shining lamps of crystal hewn, dimmed by cloud or shade of night, shone forever fair and bright. Hammer on the anvil smote, the chiseler clove, engraver wrote. Forge was flayed and bound was hilt, the delver mined, the mason built. Barrow, pearl, and opal pale, and metal wrought like fish's mail. Buckler and corslet, axe and sword, shining spears were laid in hoard. Unweary then were Durin's folk, beneath the mountain music woke. The harpers harped, the minstrels sang, at the gates the trumpets rang. The world was grey, the mountains gold, the forges fires are ashen cold. Harp is rung, the hammer fall, in darkness dwells in Durin's halls. The shadow lies upon his tomb, in Moria, in Khazad-dûm. Still the sunken stars appear, in dark and windless Mirror. There lies a crown in water deep, Durin wakes again from sleep. God, I love that song. I really do. The Lord of the Rings has some classic folk songs. I love that one. That one's good. I like the Hobbit drinking songs, hey ho to the bottle I go. But I enjoy the song, the Durin's song, because oh God, you could do so much with that particular song, whether it's D&D, whether it's just setting a mood for something, uh, you know, if you're a DM or whatnot, or you want to be inspired to write something, you just listen to. I think if you just listen to like a truly emotive song, even if it's a tragedy, right? Because I mean, that's what the Song of Durin is about. It's about the fall of Moria to the Balrog. Um, and something that was once glorious was lost, right? I think it's a fantastic song. I love it. I love every bit of it. Um, Francis, I think I answered this question already, but I said we're painting Imperial Guard, not Solar Auxilia. Solar Auxilia is Horus Heresy. It's the Imperial Army before um, and during the heresy. The Imperial Guard is after the heresy. This is stormtroopers that we're painting. Tolkien drew a deep love of folklore, inspired his writing, and the songs were definitely a part of it. Oh yeah, 100%. You can't sit there and say that he was not inspired by folklore. I mean, the man was a language professor in, I want to say it was Anglo-Saxon, like uh, like I want to say it was like English. Like he studied humanities and whatnot in English. Um, uh, but yeah, I think that's what he practiced. Uh, Various languages, as I recall, but definitely an old school scholar of humanities. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the man. I mean, you couldn't not tell him, right, about about like a lot of his direct research, right? I think was because of humanities, right? Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that the stream is stable. I got a little warning. Okay, all right, good. First went on the drive, through sunset labor, at home I did arrive. I courted with a pretty girl, who caused me to roam. Now I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. I'll eat when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. Get drunk whenever I'm ready, get sober by and by. And if this river don't drown me, it's down on me to roam. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. You live on some castle upon some mountainside. You can sit and view me as I go marching by. She can sit and view me as I go marching on. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. I'll eat when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. Get drunk whenever I'm ready, get sober by and by. And if this river don't drown me, it's down on me to roam. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. Great big sea for those of you who are curious. And moving feeble and then the just lie. Wrap me up in a blanket and lay me down to die. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. I'll eat when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. Get drunk whenever I'm ready, get sober by and by. And if this river don't drown me, not drown, I'll mean to roam. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. Right when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. Get drunk whenever I'm ready, get sober by and by. And if this river don't drown me, it's drown I'll mean to roam. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. For I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. And I am jealous of you, Johnny, because honestly, out of all the bands I've seen live, I've seen Slash, I've seen Miles Kennedy, I've seen um, Dropkick Murphys. Uh, there was a USO tour where I think Three Doors Down, if I remember correctly, I think it was Three Doors Down that was running that USO tour when we were deployed. And uh, Chronic Pleasure, right? My stepmother's brother ran a small little indie garage rock and roll band. Um, they were really good. Um, and you know, I have not seen Drop, so you've got that one over me. I mean, you just got to go to Boston during a hockey game, and they're going to be there playing. it's that's if the Bruins are playing at home, the Dropkick Murphys are going to be there, and they'll play like one or two songs. It's it. There was a running gag at one point. I think it was like in the early 2000s. There was a running gag at one point that if you went to go see a Bruins game, it was either a fight or a Dropkick Murphys concert. Um, and then like other live performances, I was able to see George Carlin before he passed away. So the comic George Carlin. For those of you that aren't familiar with American comics, he was fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. Um, sounds about right. Um, but yeah, I the bands I would like to see, like no shit, like to see live would be um Imagine Dragons, right? Would be Three Doors Down. I'd love to see. Oh man, seeing Carlin is one I'm jealous of. Honestly, it was hard. It was hard to secure tickets. He came to Amherst, UMass Amherst, when my twin sister was a student there, and she knew I loved George Carlin. Oh, I lived for his comedy specials, and um, she managed to get tickets, and so I went out there and got to see George Carlin, and it was awesome. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Imagine Dragons. I'd love to see them. I'd love to see Three Doors Down. I absolutely enjoy. I don't know if the band's still around, but Spirit of the West. I know the lead singer had dementia, had Alzheimer's, so he lost so before he passed away, he started losing his faculties and all that stuff. Um, but I'd love to see Great Big Sea. But the last time I saw Great Big Sea was Montreal on St. Patrick's Day Eve, doing a double bill with Spirit of the West. My at the time girlfriend Renee from Boston. who got tickets for both of us, came up for the show. It was just amazing, memorable night. Oh my God, I would love to watch like Spirit of the West. I'd love Proclaimers. You know, I would love to see a live show of them. Uh, Queen, obviously. You know, um, I'm dating myself a little bit for my for my the music that I just absolutely adore. Um, but I also like some of the new stuff. Uh, Jessie Glynn. Uh, she sings like some very lovely, romantic, soulful songs. Um, I love that. Frickin' oh, I'd love to see Meatloaf in concert. Just because I hear it's just a fucking riot. I hear it's an experience of itself. Bruce Springsteen, same thing. I'm now looking through it. Macklemore, I'd love to see him in concert. Uh, Trying to think of what else. Florence and the Machine, love to see them. Uh, non musician, I'd love to listen. I'd love to sit during an Eddie Izzard comedy show. Eddie Izzard's a fantastic comedian too. Um, going back to music. Dashboard Confessional, would love to listen to them. Google Dolls, yeah, I'd love to rock out to Google Dolls. Uh, yeah, there's a few. So Spirit of the West back in the day, I had a friend that worked at the Macallan Beer Brewery in Montreal, and they were sponsored a lot of new upcoming artists in the show. My friend got free tickets. He was like, "Want to go see something called Spirit of the West? They're promoting their new album, Save This House." Isn't that the one where the I'm sick of the drink. I need home for a rest. Is that the album that they that Save This House was? Is that one of the songs that Save This House was on? Or sorry, the album that is that one of the songs on the album Save This House? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You have to. Ah, let me tell you, man. You want to get some like a good quick hit of nostalgia when I think it was Aresia 2006 when, we had all kind of gelled together and you played that song and me and Tom Selfridge, um, loved that song because of it. Like we loved Aresia, but we loved Aresia the dance more because we both knew what that song was and we both were able to dance to it energetically. Meatloaf used to do great shows. The last one, sadly, I saw before he passed away. He was losing his voice. Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a lot of good greats that I would have loved to see, um, and unfortunately no longer can. But yeah, oh man. All right, let's go get some tea, and then we're gonna go back into painting. Home for Rest definitely speaks a lot to the fandom. I never spun a fandom dance at a fandom dance and had it not pack the floor. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That's it's not like a club banger as the, like in the traditional like club music, but those of us who know, you know, it's a fantastic song. Me, you said you need to light those matches. Ah, it's like feeding a power pack into Alaska and a good cup of tea. Oh yeah, I've never. Uh, tea is good. Tea is good. I've never let someone uh let myself be restricted to a specific genre. I know people, when I knew people in the crowd would like what I play. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think honestly, Johnny, that's probably your biggest strong suit when it came to spinning. No, 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 it's okay. When it came to spinning, is that you were like super open. It's late words hard. No, I know, I get it. You were never you were one to always take suggestions. I remember there being, I think it was Aresia '09. There was a bunch of like college kids that came into Aresia to just see what it was, and they came in during the club session. And college kids being broke college kids, it was like, hey, there's a nightclub scene that you don't have to pay $80 for a cover charge. Sure, absolutely. And when they came up to your spin, you actually entertained them. Um, I rarely said no. Just give me a few songs to swing the music around that to that. Yeah, no, no, absolutely. But what I remember was just like those college kids were asking about really about like it was like 2009, so it was like the hip club music at the time, and you were like, yeah, yeah, I'll get to it. Um, and when you got to it, their eyes just lit up, and they were like, "Man, this is awesome!" And they liked the other dancing too and whatnot. But I tell you, nothing like a DJ's Johnny Zed throwdown party. That is probably some of the more of my favorite highlights of my before military civilian side. Yeah, you can't please everyone all the time, but if you keep enough of action and keep the energy up, the rest tends to sort itself out. Yeah, I mean, I, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't think I could ever find. You've set the. like for spinning for DJs, you know, like you definitely had set a standard. Um, and maybe it's just me being like old man yells at cloud, but it's, back in my day, you know, back in my day, the DJs were worth a damn, you know. But I love the fact that you matched the energy. Like we, of course, the dancers, like all of us dancers, gave you energy back. But like when it was like getting on to like 4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, yeah, let's do it. It was like the 2006, 7, 8, and 9 versions of "Fuck It, We Ball." Look up "Around the Dial" by the Kinks. All right, well, hey, I'll look up anything if it says "by the Kinks." I'll have to look it up afterwards. Damn, Skippy. Until the last dancer drops or until the hotel shuts us down. Ah, those were the days. Of course, also back then, like you and I were like you. I don't think the hotel shut us down twice because they had that program. Yeah, it was. So the first time it was the Boffer. It was the Boffer tournaments, right? So like I guess a group of larpers wanted to do like a round of 16, a bracket of 16 or 32 Boffer tournaments. Um, uh, you know, for bragging rights or whatever the hell they were doing it for. I think there was a prize. I think during uh, one of those Boffer tournaments. And let me tell you, uh, I think actually no, I think Dave had to officiate one if I remember correctly. So like me and him were fucking smoked at the end of the dance, and we were just like, "Oh no, it's eight, it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning. We have an hour to get ready." So we're like, so here we are, like stiff from the dance. We're just our bodies are screaming. Our muscles are screaming as we're like trying to play judge to one of the Boffer tournaments. And we're just like, uh and we're just dying. We're like shuffling around like old men. Son, I did my job right. Good times. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. I can't wait to get back in the convention scene again. It's sad that I have to wait until after the military because 9 times out of 10 I'm too busy or I'm deployed or whatever the case might be. But you know, hey, that's what I signed up for as well. but I am fiending for it. I'll tell you that much. Some boy. I'm mostly retired from the fandom these days, but I do miss the good old days. Yeah, man. No, and look, dude. I'm never one to pressure anyone to come back to the fandom, to come back to the con scene if they've gotten out and have done their final curtain call. So, with that being said, would I love to go back and relive some of the glory days? Absolutely. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not one to poo-poo anybody. And you know if I think if you take a big drink with your mouth to the brink of a jug of poachine. So stick to the Crather, the best thing in nature, for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. Oh, what adoration or dose in the nation can give consolation like punching me boys. Cosmetic to lovers athletic, Arjadi's athletic, give such a bloom. The flowers, garden of flowers, ever on bowers, such a darling perfume. Sacred heritage willingly share, heritage fizzled and grit. The merit of the true spirit is it'll shake off the hair on your head. Great, the best thing in nature for sinking your sorrows and raising your joys. It's perfection, no doctor's direction can give the complexion like punching me boys. Cradle with her ladle was filling me mouth with an ocean the pap. Drop from the bottle fell into my throttle, light kindled and capered clean out of her lap. Lightly squalling and screaming and bawling, to my mother and father were called to the fore. Sobbing and sighing, they feared I was dying, soon feeling I only was crying for more. Calling it a night. I have to be up in 5 hours, so also good caption. I'll leave myself lurking. All right, I appreciate you, Johnny. Get some rest. Emperor protects. My mind. End transmission.
Fuck.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
I just got home. You
Ah,
streaming?
yes, I am streaming.
Warhammer The gas.
It's okay.
Let's see. You're painting.
Yes, I am.
What are we painting today?
Imperial Guard. Imperial Guardsmen. We're painting faces right now.
Ah, okay, okay.
You are
Just pop in
very,
to say hi.
you are very, very, very quiet.
That's my mic. That's not Discord. That's me.
Oh, okay.
Equipment issues. My headset's fucking up recently.
Okay.
I need to get a new headset, but I'll see. I might get that for Christmas. I might put it on my Christmas list. Let the fan buy it.
Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. I can probably hear you now a little better.
Okay. I'm only here for a bit.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Did you see the channel announcement?
The channel announcement. Hey, everyone, come check this. Sending a code to
Scroll,
the relay. Oh,
scroll up. If you scroll up,
here you go.
there's a few of them.
I made two new channels for everyone in the D&D Pathfinder and RPGs. Anyone around for shame. I'm thinking Dark Tide or Space Marine 2. That's the 30th. That's a bit ago. Uh, which one am I looking for?
It's the
Attention
one I made
Sir.
today.
I went too far back then. 7th. Here we go. Attention, loyal importer subject. The holiday approaching will be leaving.
If you had any other suggestions, we will be doing another
Ooh, another movie.
yeah, another Mystery
Right.
Science Theater night.
Ooh, when?
It'll be after I get back from Mass.
Okay, so like January like 10th or something, more or less.
No, 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 no. Like January, like it'll probably be like December 29th or something.
Ah, okay, so right before you leave again.
No, no, no. I I'm on leave all throughout the holiday break, but from the 19th to 28th is when I'll be in Mass.
Ah, okay, okay.
So, and then I come back to California, but I will still be on break um, until the 8th. So I'll be streaming constantly the the throughout the holiday. So I do want to try and do at least um, two movie nights.
Okay. Um, hmm, let's see what would the options have. Plan 9 from Outer Space, Lost Skeletons and Cadabra, and Forbidden Planet. Oh, or them.
Yeah, those are the ones that we haven't seen yet. I mean, like I said, uh, I'm more than happy to do another recommendation. Because everyone liked Exist and everyone enjoyed Dog Soldiers. So if you have another like recommendation like that, then that's perfectly fine.
28 days late. No, I'm joking.
I mean, the other
Classic zombie movie, but
the
you
the
know.
other the other movies are 28 years later is coming out.
Wait, this is 28 years later now? What?
Yes, yes, yes. It's coming out in the summer of 2025. I literally just saw a trailer for it.
Oh, my lord. I,
So
I, I thought I learned the lesson after 28 months later, which kind of didn't do as good as 28 days later.
I mean, I
I
thought
mean, I like the idea. I don't think they executed it well, though.
I thought it was a good movie. I thought 28 Months Later was a pretty good movie.
Huh.
Um,
Maybe I'm misremembering it. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else. Possible.
you may not be.
I mean, it also not be. That's right. But don't let me interrupt your painting too much.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
back
I'm
to
just
that.
sorry. Sorry. I just got a notification of the stream. Hopefully, it didn't crash. Okay, it didn't. All right. Cool.
It looks fine. It looks good. It looks good on my side. I'm on the Twitch stream right now, looking at it.
Okay. All right. How's your war against Queek and Tretch Craventail?
Oh, that I managed to somehow succeed in that weird, stupid, worldwide Skaven issue I had. Don't know how the
Oh,
fuck it happened, but
okay. All right. Because you were like, I'm getting pressed.
I mean, it's very hard to fight as Imrik because Imrik's army is very expensive, especially when you decide to do a meat dragon only run. You can imagine how painful that was for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I allowed myself to count Dragon Princess as part of the thing. The dragon, the
Yeah,
cavalry.
Emmerich, who was it? Emmerich's in the gulag. Um, who else is in there? Frickin' Marcus Wolfhart. If you start off at Marcus Wolfhart, uh you have the Thousand Maw and Rakarth, Beastmaster Rakarth. You have
And not only does Wolfhard have to start with that, right? They're adding in the new Corn Lord also starts in that area that you have to
yeah, the
deal
new
with,
Corn Lord is going to start in that area. Um,
which I'm excited for.
uh, there was someone else that had like a shit start position. Oh no, I think it was um
I would say Boris' start is pretty shit.
Boris's start is pretty shit because he's in the chaos waste and just constantly getting his like I never see him past turn 60.
I have seen him pass turn 60, but only when I'm playing Chaos. Only when I'm his up when I'm his enemy. When I'm his ally, he's dead like turn 10. If I'm his enemy, he's alive and bothering my ass and having to deal with his
Yeah,
ass.
I'm kind of tired of Katerin having being in a forced war with Draika because she takes over chunks of Imperial territory, and I'm like, I don't want you to take over Imperial territory.
I
Stop.
understand Draika being aggressive, but it's also very annoying.
Because I don't want to end up fighting Kislev because Kislev is a bitch to fight. Like even if you break them like the first time, they have that by our blood proc. So like and it procs for like I don't know, uh 10 20 minutes
I
or,
found
or
if
not
Kislev
10
manages to
minutes.
survive to mid game, they're usually pretty set up at that point in time.
Yeah. I've
If they dealt with early, then they're not an issue. But the problem is if they get to mid game, it's just they start pumping out them numbers.
Yeah, hold on. Joker Bravo. I've switched to guard. I'm now a guard player. Oh, well, what's your guard army going to be? By the way, have you collected?
I have not. I don't have any. I plan to eventually, but at the moment I'm doing a bunch of other things. A lot of my other hobbies are preventing me from money sinking myself into
Death
the next you know the
Death
next
Core of
hobby.
Krieg. Well, what are you doing right now? Obviously, I know you're trying to get your VTube because you were talking about it at one
Yeah,
point.
I have most of it set up. I have the PNG. I'm getting some models here and there. But I'm good with just starting off with the PNG. Most of it is ready. Right now I'm just in my plush phase. I have like a billion plushes. Yeah, I can take a photo.
Oh, the girls were in their plush phase when we were in Japan. It was Pokemon. It was Pokemon or nothing. Death Core of Krieg. Oh yeah, well you picked a hell of a right time because the Death Core of Krieg just dropped their new model line. So GW just dropped the new model line for the Death Core, and it's all plastics.
What
So
can I drop? I guess art gallery.
say again.
I guess I can drop this picture in art
Yeah,
gallery.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
can I?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Picture sending from my phone. Oh, that leveled me up. Promoted.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
As you can see, I have a very slight obsession with a certain plush line up there in the top left.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I get it. I'm hoping I can snag a box too many scalpers. Well, it won't drop until like the new year. Like that box is projected to drop um, when they do the codex refresh. So hopefully you get it. I am not getting them just yet because I've got a fuck ton of models that I need to build. it's actually it's actually kind of embarrassing. What army would you pick, Isabel?
Um, I've thought about it. I'm probably gonna go with the Blood Angels because I really love me the Blood Angels. I love me Dante. I love me Sanguinius. He's my favorite Primarch. Even if rest in peace, rest in pepperonis,
The rest in pepperonis, yeah.
rest in pepperonis.
Well, I don't know if he's resting in peace because his soul's captured by the vengeful spirit. Um,
Oh yes and no.
if you believe what some of Black Library produced after the after the heresy, there's I forget who the writer was, but they alluded that Sanguinius's soul is trapped on the vengeful spirit, being tortured forever.
I
Um,
mean, I have very I can see part of the soul being tortured and trapped in the vengeful spirit, but that can also not be true because he's helped out Dante plenty of times, and with that stuff.
yeah.
Since he showed up in front of Dante, I doubt he's all of him is on the vengeful spirit.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Do you use tweezers to grab the tiny bits? I do and I don't at the same time. So I have Games Workshop came out with like this weird model paint stand thing a while back. Let me dust it off real quick. It's haven't used it in a hot minute. Always maintain your equipment, folks. Um,
I don't know. I've seen my friend's painting table that is in a state of constant what's the word?
well, I only am able to paint every once in a while. When it comes to uh, give that good girl the hawk tour. Come on, man. I'm just trying to get the dust blown off. Uh, look,
Let me see. I can probably find a picture of his desk
I
somewhere.
I understand like the gamer dad like thirst trap stuff does happen, but this guy does not do. This commissar does not do thirst trapping. He is very much very
You know,
much a hydrated gentleman.
there's a picture of his desk
Let's see.
and a lot of his models.
I mean, that's not too bad. That's not as bad as mine right now.
I'll probably find one where it's more. Let me see.
Who's my favorite commissar? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would go with Ibram Gaunt only because I just love the Gaunt's ghosts. But like Yarick is pretty good, Kane is pretty good. It really just depends on what you want from your commissar. And but even in the Gaunt's Ghost series, uh, there's Commissar Hark, there's Commissar Nahum Ludd, there's um, there's Commissar Victor Blenner. Like there's there are some decent commissars within the Gaunt's Ghost series that are nice, and honestly, they're really good. I love the Kane model and the rules for the Kane model. Yeah, yeah. Kane was a different was a good. It's someone compared to basically like Blackadder in space. Um, whereas like Gaunt's Ghost is like uh, the Sharp series in space, which I mean it's not wrong. If you've ever watched Sean Bean, and the Sharp series was like in the early '90s, so I might be dating myself. But if you ever watch Sean Bean playing as Colonel Sharp, um, uh, you can see kind of the Gaunt's Ghost stuff. But that was like Napoleonic War stuff anyway. Um, but yeah, where was I? But yeah, what I do is I use this here. Let me switch over here. Let me switch to the. Let me switch over to the Commissar's journal real quick. So I use this stand, and I'll use these tweezers, and I'll pinch the tweezer onto like a little bracket of the head.
Okay, let's see.
There we go. So it'll be like that, and then I can manipulate the head better.
Yes, Yarick is dead, Joker.
Yes, Yarick is dead, unfortunately. Um, I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't the case that he was dead, because that was. I had a severe issue with Games Workshop killing Yarick off screen. Off
Don't
cam.
worry, Gasco's getting his revenge.
Yeah,
Gasco's gonna be vengeance.
but that we're still waiting for that to happen.
Perhaps
Um,
eventually. Give it another 15 years. They'll get done.
manipulate the head better. Stop, stop. Came off dirty. Hey, for 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 the simple payment of $5, you too can hear suggestive comments from your favorite commissar. Uh, Let me switch back to painting. There you go. But yeah, I'm very pissed that Yark died off camera, off screen. Um,
I mean, I doubt they'll leave it off screen forever. They'll probably write something on it more eventually. Hopefully.
yeah, but it's still kind of shitty.
Oh, it's still very shitty right now. Yes.
I'm not like Games Workshop normally makes some
Final death
fantastic
moments.
final death moments, but then you run into uh, imagine going to Commissar School. Well, so the Commissar School is actually called the Scholarum Progenium, and you find out you're going to the Death Corps. So yes and no. Like commissars that are assigned to the Death Corps of Krieg, they're there not as commissars, they're there as diplomats. Like
They're
that
also there to stop them from killing themselves.
kind of sort of, yeah. It's more of it, like they're there to advise the Death Corps of Krieg officers, "Hey, you can't complete the mission if you guys just martyr yourselves at the first sign of trouble." Right?
Complete
Um,
the mission, then martyr yourselves.
yeah, yeah. And so the cult of the dead in the Death Corps of Krieg, like I forget what I was reading. I think I was reading Dead Man Walking, and the commissar assigned to the Death Corps of Krieg as like their initial diplomat
Why
was
is there?
like explaining to another commissar, it's like you're not necessarily fighting the enemy, you're fighting the cult of the dead, um, indoctrination, um, and that's where the Death Corps of Krieg kind of lie. Um, and he basically was like, if everyone fought like the Krieg, the Imperium wouldn't exist anyway because there'd be no one left to protect. Um, and so that was his gripe, for better or for worse. There we go. But yeah, the Death Corps of Krieg are like there are good officers that don't just send their men into bayonet charges. Much as like the memes tell you. Like yes, they treat their soldiers like numbers, um, but what they do is they do a cost benefit analysis, and they say, do we take this? Is this an acceptable risk? And yeah, 9 times out of 10 the risk is going to be acceptable to them. But there have been instances of Krieg being like, yeah, we're not going to charge these tanks without anti-tank weapons, or we're not going to. I love the one. Yeah, that's Dead Man Walking is the one I'm talking about. Dead Man Walking is the Necron book I'm talking about, where the Commissar is talking to another Commissar about the Death Corps of Krieg, and he's like, my job isn't to inspire them. My job is to counsel them. My job is to make sure that they don't just throw themselves needlessly. So,
Speaking of the Necrons, how's the I've been out of touch. How's the Necron versus the oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. The fucking Mechanicus war going.
they haven't really expanded on the Necron versus Mechanicus war. I'm waiting for them to talk about it. Um, but I mean, honestly, the only Games Workshop sourced material about the Necron Mechanicus War is the turn-based game Mechanicus, where the Necrons play as the protagonists, or it's not protagonists, antagonists. Um, but there really isn't. They really haven't like gone into uh, what the Mechanicus think about.
I thought that was the big event going on right now for the new releases.
Um, I don't think the Mechanicus. I don't think Games Workshop's gone into what the Mechanicus think about Necron tech. Um, and like how they're using it and all that stuff.
No, the last thing I saw was the Mechanicus bringing out the end game Doomsday weapons of theirs that they have hidden.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yes. They have been talking about that. The vaults of Moloch.
Yeah, they've been dropping all that cool stuff. It's exciting.
How do the Death Corps of Krieg replenish their numbers so fast? So, um,
Cloning.
it's cloning. For lack of a better word, it's cloning. What they do is they use what's called the Vitae womb. And the Vitae womb is basically just think of a Star Wars Clone Wars Sparty cylinder, um, where they used the Camoan technology, the Kaminoan technology to um, clone the clone troopers. And that's basically what it is. It's technically, if you really want to get into it, it's technically tech heresy, um, because the Imperial Creed, you're not supposed to be cloning humans. Um, it's a tech heresy and it's an actual heresy. Like, you're not supposed to be cloning humans. You're
Listen. Whatever happens, we just need the bodies.
Oh no, no, and I think that's how the Inquisition kind of squared that circle. Was they were like, well, if the only thing they can offer the Imperial tithe is bodies, and not only were they able to offer the Imperial tithe
But fanatical bodies.
bodies, but they were able to offer the Imperial tithe, like, because when the Imperium made contact with Krieg after the Civil War, the first thing that they said was, "Oh, well, you're able, what can you provide the tithe?" And the colonel at the time, the I forget what his designation was, but it wasn't Colonel Yurton. It was like Colonel Yurton died hundreds of years before the end of the Civil War. But basically, the colonel that was in charge was like, "Oh, we can provide 20 regiments of, of 20,000 guardsmen, you know. And they were like, how? You're a nuclear wasteland. Where are you getting 20 regiments of 20,000 guardsmen apiece? You know, and that's when the
That's
Inquisition
when he just placed the hands on the shoulder and be like, "Don't worry about it."
that's when the Inquisition discovered the vitae wombs. Um, and it was there that they were like, oh, okay. And so technically, again, the vitae wombs are a tech heresy. One, because you're not supposed to be cloning humans, because that would be a mockery of the divine human form. And then two, it's a tech heresy because you're using a limited form of AI intelligence to develop the human body in that vat, in that cloning vat. I think they are actually. I believe because it was I think it was actually in Death Core of Krieg in that particular book. Um, they they hinted at the fact that they looked the same, that they looked like they hinted the fact that they looked remarkably similar to Colonel Yurton. Um, but we don't.
What? We're not cloning Jurton. He's just hard at work, back on her homeworld.
Did they say that we were all Yurton? No, they did not. They did not say that they were all Yurton. But in the particular book, hold on, I'm gonna actually bring it out. Now that we're actually talking about lore, um, so here, let me switch over. I know I'm supposed to be painting, but we're talking about lore, so we can do that.
The historic text.
So yeah, the historic texts. This is Krieg, a Death Corps novel by Steve Lyons. Fantastic. Um, the audiobook version of this is narrated by, I want to say, hold on, let me look. I want to say the audio version is narrated by, if I can find it, is narrated by Timothy Watson. Fantastic, fantastic audio, fantastic narrator and reader. Um, but in the I love how all the fan made videos make the Kriegers sound German. Well, it's basically that's what it is. The Kriegers are basically uh, the
World War German.
World War I Germans that were fighting with Otto von Bismarck, like you're that's their traditional Otto von Bismarck Kaiser stuff. But we're about to get hit with an ad break. As soon as that ad break ends, I will talk to you about. Um, I'll talk to you. I'll tell you what the end of the. Hopefully it tells me. Right here at the end, basically on spoiler alert. Um, oh, there's the ad break. Damn it. I'll wait for the ad break to finish, and then we'll go into the actual spoiler alert. But it's a really good one. Um, but basically, okay, we got a minute left. But it's a really good read. 30 seconds. All right, we're about to be back. Okay, and we're back. All right, so at the end of this book, right? I'm not trying to spoil it, but if you don't want a spoiler, just on YouTube, you can just skip to to like I don't know, give it like 10 minutes. Um, but at the end of the book, they talk about what the person looked like, and I'll read the last bit. The Krieg colonel cocked his head a little. He looked as if he didn't understand the question. That only made me more determined this time. I would brook no evasion from him. I fixed him with a glare. I hoped my eyes would make the impression upon him, though I could not see into his. Finally, he gave me an answer, and with hindsight, perhaps the only answer I'd ought to expect. My name, the Krieg colonel slowly told me, as if he had just worked it out for himself, is Jotun. So this particular Krieg who was being interviewed by this inquisitor didn't say that they were all Jurten. He just took the name Jurten. But Krieg officers take the names of Krieg heroes as a way to identify themselves. This particular officer took Jurten's name. If you read The Siege of Vrax, which I don't know if I have that one. Hold on, let me look.
The Seeds of Rex. The good times, the bad
I do not
times,
think I have that one.
the so-so times.
I do not. Okay, I don't have that one, I believe. Yeah, I don't have the Siege of Vrax. But if you read the Siege of Vrax, and the Siege of Vrax is, I think, by hold on, Commissar Hecht is just salty because he can't be Jurgen. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a Death Corps of Kriegsmen. So the Siege of Vrax is again written by Steve Lyons and narrated by Timothy Watson. Again, a very great narrator. Um, in the Siege of Vrax, they talk about several Krieg officers, and they have different names for because of different Krieg heroes. Um, do guards regiments have chaplains or just zealots? Um, Guard regiments have preachers. Similar to the Sisters of Battle, they have missionaries that um, go and are attached with the Imperial Guard regiments. I believe in the Imperial Guard Codex,
you can actually attach a priest, a Minotaurum priest, into your army. But you have to attach them as I think as allies. I don't think that they're actual characters within the list. Would I defect to the Tau? No, because the Tau believe in eugenics. I mean, everybody in 40K believes in eugenics at some point, but the Tau really lean into that. Really lean into that. They believe in the caste system and they believe in eugenics. So yeah, yeah. Uh, like take the worst parts of the Indian caste system from what you've read throughout history. If you studied the Indian caste system, whether it was in high school or college or all that stuff, other societies, and just amp it up to like a million fold, and that's what the Tau caste system is. You can't get out of it. You are either a water caste member, a air caste member, a fire caste member, a earth caste. There's no jumping caste systems. If you fail in that caste system, you are quote unquote re-educated several times over and over and over and over and over. And then if you fail that, you're just taken out back to the woodshed and put down. Uh, that's so like the tower really, really, really anti choice when it comes to it. And then the eugenics part is if you've ever played the Dawn of War series, if you play as the Tau, there's a victory condition where they talk about they don't kick off the imperial settlements, and um, they don't cleanse the imperial settlements. They allow the imperial settlements to stay, but under the auspice of the Tau. But even the narrator says for whatever reason, human birth rates just dropped under their leadership and management, and they became a mere footnote and shadows of them former selves. So yeah, they were hinting at the fact that the humans, quote unquote, were being, you know, subject to eugenics through like state sponsored eugenics and all that stuff. So yeah, not a good like being a human in the Tau is like the only reason why a lot of humans defect to the Tau Empire is because of the propaganda. You know, they don't see, and then they become blind to the propaganda, and then they don't see the eugenics side of it until it's too late. No wonder
I mean,
Commander.
like how spent like hundreds of years doing the propaganda stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No wonder why Commander Farsight hates them. Commander Farsight hates them for one reason and one reason only. It's because of the ethereals. There is a He believes that the ethereals are not actually Tau, and there is a working theory that the ethereals aren't actual Tau race. That they have crafted themselves to look like the Tau, but they are not actually. They are another alien race above the Tau, and use the Tau as like the enslavement. Um, that's why that's why ethereals do not like Farsight. They do not like the Farsight enclaves, um, and they refuse to help. So yeah, yeah, that's how that works. Maybe it's Zinch. No, no, Zinch. So the Chaos God that is like minor influence of Farsight is Korn. That is the
Because
Chaos God.
Farsight is all melee.
Yeah, that is the Chaos God that is very, very, very much interested in Farsight becoming Chaos Corrupted, and they talk about that in his book series. Um, I am pretty sure the Dawn Blade, the blade that he wields, is a chaos tainted weapon of some sort. Now I don't know how, because that there's, I mean, controlling the people in charge. No, no, of the Tau. No. So the problem with the Tau is that they have been described as very, very low blips in the warp. Um, how it's described with the Tau is, or how people are seen in the warp is, you have the Eldar, which burn the brightest within the Sea of Souls in the warp, and they attract the most amount of attention from the Netherborn and the Chaos Gods. Right underneath um, the Eldar are the human psychers that burn the second brightest. Underneath human psychers is baseline humans that burn the third brightest. I think orcs kind of slide into, um, are comparable to baseline humans, but again, orcs are somewhat different because you've got, um, their pattern in the warp only really starts affecting them when there's a whole bunch of them, right? Um, and then you have the leagues of Votan, which have been said that they have a very low shadow within the warp, and then you have the Tau. So like the leagues of Votan and the Tau are pretty much neck to neck when it comes to like their influence in the warp. So Tau will never develop psychers. I'm not saying that they can't develop psychers. I'm saying that because of where they're at right now, I do not see Tau receiving psychers as a
Since they're currently a non-warp species.
yeah, yeah. Like they don't even have the ability to go into the warp. They don't have navigators. And for you to actually go into the warp and develop faster than light travel via the warp, you have to have the navigator strain.
I
Uh,
mean, they still warp travel from some of the humans that they took over, but then they forgot to put the shields
yeah,
on,
the Geller
and all
field,
the
and
humans died.
and yeah, and all of them died. Like it was horrible.
The,
Like
the no, the Tau didn't die. The humans died. The
yeah.
Tau weren't affected.
Well, they get the tower lost in the warp without their navigator. So that's that the Tau have a faster than light capability called skipping, where they just dip into the warp real quick. It's like a stone skipping across the surface, but they can never go faster. They can never travel as far as like the Imperial Navy ships do. Um, and their reach can only go so far as to safely um, safely extend. That's why the Tau Empire is so small. That's why it's like a postage stamp compared to the rest of the Imperium.
That's why they've
Because
won battles, but not the wars, because they just
yeah,
take forever to travel.
isn't there a book about the Tau trusting the Drukhari? Yeah, again, Tau don't make the greatest decisions. like because they're so young, they didn't know what the Drukhari were about until they found out what the Drukhari were about. And it wasn't the Drukhari that they were. I mean, it was the Drukhari, but it was more the homunculus covens that they were dealing with. Um, so yeah, they found out the hard way. Um,
The very hard way.
uh, but uh, that's kind of where the Tau are at. And that was earlier on in their development when they were on the center stage. But the Tau Empire, like I said, is a postage stamp in size compared to the Imperium, and that's because they don't have the capability of going into the warp fully. They can have human navigators, but they don't have the tech to develop Geller fields. And so, with that being said, that their supply lines are limited, unlike the Imperium. The Imperium, you can send in a massive Imperial battle fleet from one sector of the segmentum to another, and go that way. And they'll get there. They may not all get there, but but some of them will
Most
get
will get
there.
there.
Most will get there, right? Um, uh, but
As long
the
as 50% gets there, that's a win.
yeah, and that's the truth. And who knows? They may, and who knows? They may not get there all at the same time,
One
right?
part gets there, and then like 5 years later, the next part gets there,
Yeah, basically.
or
Or
100 years later,
or in the case of Admiral Spire, 1,000 years later. He was
or in some other cases, they'll get there 10 years earlier.
that poor bastard was lost in the warp for 1,000 years. Um, so yeah, um, it as much as the warp is very unreliable and very dangerous. The fact of the matter is that the Tau don't have a answer to warp travel that allow them to expand their supply lines and their empire further. If the Tau had samurai power swords on their mech suits, they'd be cool. Well, that's what the Dawnblade is. The Dawnblade is basically a giant katana. They hate melee. It's not that they hate melee. It's the fact that um, their doctrines don't allow them to go into melee. Like you have the patient hunter, and then you have the waiting blade. But all of those things require are different methods of combat. And again, the Tau being fairly new and a fairly young species, it's not like they have a giant reservoir of soldiers. So they've developed combat in a way that's standoff distance and all that stuff. Now, obviously, you can't finesse your way out of a Tyranid invasion, um, or a massive Orc Wa. You're going to end up in hand-to-hand combat, but it's not, you know, their preferred style. I feel bad for the Kroot. I mean, yeah, I feel bad too. But the Kroot would have been at home with the Orcs, to be quite honest, because their society is based off of prowess and combat. All right, let's get back to painting. But yeah. They have an interesting evolution too. Yeah, they evolve after what they eat. Um, so that's how the Kroot evolve. They consume genetic material, and that's how they evolve. Very similar to the very similar in like style to the orcs, whereas the orcs have their genetic material imprinted into them through their fungal spores. Kroot evolve through eating, vanquishing enemies, and somewhat. And there's something to be said of like they also have a similar evolutionary path as like Tyranids. Tyranids get stronger each time they eat something. Maybe they should eat Space Marines. I believe they've tried. I believe Kroot have tried to eat Space Marines. Uh, but I think the reason why they haven't been successful at eating Space Marines is because I think the Space Marines are toxic to them or
I
something
think
to
it's the
that
same
extent.
reason why the
Ah, go ahead.
it's the same reason the Nids can't eat the Space Marines or take on their things. There's something specific about it that's poisonous to them.
Well, I think the Gene Stealers are the Space Marines, like or their human stock, like the baseline human stock for Gene Stealers. Um,
Regular humans, yes, but the Space Marines themselves, they're since they're augmented humans and they have special different things. I believe one of the things is a reason why the Nids haven't been able to evolve specific parts from Space Marine.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily know exactly because the Zoanthropes are Eldari. The Carnifexes are either orcs or one of the codexes kind of breaks down where they come from. Um, or maybe it's the Biovore. Maybe the Biovores are orcs. But basically, one of the codexes way back when, I think in third edition, broke down where their genetic where what Tyranid like derives its genetic material from. And humans were gene stealers,
Yeah,
and
Gene Stealers are humans because it's
and
used for.
then and then the Eldar were zoanthropes. I forget.
I believe one of the reasons they haven't been able to do the Space Marines because a lot of the additions to Space Marines are artificial and not organic, so that's why they haven't been able to copy it.
Yeah,
If you're not born a Space Marine, you're made into.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. The tower. I don't know. I'd like to think that the Tau have more stuff to offer the 40k universe, and there is talk about like the 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 humans who support the Tau are are developing basically a chaos entity called the Greater Good, because of like their worship and stuff, but we haven't heard anything concrete, solid about that. Cool idea, cool concept, and it makes sense within the universe. You know, you get enough people worshiping you, you develop a chaos god. Um,
I mean, technically the same thing that they're talking about with the Emperor,
yeah, but that
making him a chaos god because of all the worship.
yeah that was kind of given in the beginning. I'm curious what they're gonna do with the Dark King plot, though.
The Dark King, that's the one where he turns evil, right? Supposedly.
Yeah, basically the goal of the chaos gods was to corrupt the emperor and turn him into the Dark King, which would have been the fifth chaos god, and I believe his domain would have been destruction.
I thought they got stopped by the Star Child prophecy.
So that's the thing, is that the Star Child prophecy is so old. Like I mean, if we were going to talk about the deep magic of 40k, the Star Child thing was like a 97, 98 piece of lore The
And I know it
senseis,
hasn't been brought up since then. I know it hasn't been brought up in a very long time, but
the
I
s-
know it's still around because they never resolved it.
no, no, they never did. They never did. Um, the senseis and the Star Children, the Emperor's direct blood descendants and all that stuff. Um, GW just forgets old lore. No, they don't forget old lore. They don't
They
forget
just
old lore.
they just don't go back to it.
Um, they have a habit of like developing a lot of good narrative hooks and then never using them again. Or they reference those old narrative hooks at like in like new writing material, and you're just like, oh my god, wasn't Erda removed? Erda wasn't necessarily removed as she was like retconned. Um, because Erda became two separate people, I think, if I remember correctly. Um, but I haven't read a whole bunch of the Horse Heresy to say with a definitive yes or no. But if I remember correctly, Erda became two people.
By Erda, you mean the perpetual lady?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, who are we talking about again? Oh yeah,
I believe her. I believe she was like the blueprint for all the. She was the mother blueprint for
yeah,
all
the
the
mother,
for all the
uh,
Astartes.
Primarch.
But I, I think she was divided into two people. I think Erda was still a perpetual, who provided the thing for the blueprint for all the.
I don't no, I don't think she was ever the Emperor's wife.
No, she was never the Emperor's wife.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I don't think there was ever that.
She was. She
She was the
just.
closest to it,
She
but
was, yeah, she's the closest to it, but then you have Astartes, who I forget her first name is. But basically, Erda and Astartes were like divided up to two separate people. No, so the Emperor never married. It's not being sexist. I'm being serious. The Emperor never married. There was never
listen. If anyone married the Emperor, it was Malcador.
there was never a uh, Erda just provided her genetic material, and it wasn't it was all scientific it was all really kind of, it's like in vitro fertilization of eggs and all that stuff. There was never a point where the Emperor got down with anybody. So that's why the Star Child thing um I think will never be picked up again, because that would mean that the Emperor had relations with somebody.
I mean, it might come back due to the breaking down of the Golden Throne in about the next 100 years or so.
Sure, but that would, again, the whole thing about the senseis and the Star Children is they are blood relatives of the Emperor, which means that the Emperor.
I thought the Star Child thing was the reincarnation of the Emperor,
So
or was I confused on that?
no, no, you're half right. You're half right. You get partial credit. So the whole, if I remember correctly, the whole Star Child thing is the they are blood descendants of the Emperor that have just enough of the Emperor's magic mojo to allow him to reincarnate into that body. Um, Tristan Anderson, what army do I have? I have Astra Militarum. Um, and we're talking about deep lore right now. Um, but yeah, I think if I remember correctly with the Star Child stuff and the Sensei, it basically, they have enough mojo. They have enough of the Emperor's genetic DNA and enough of the psychic mojo for the Emperor, once he dies, to basically take over that body and become the God Emperor again. You know, um, but it's a process. and that's where you run into like the Ordo. Oh, I forget what they're called within the Inquisition. I want to say they're redemptionists. No, no, not redemptionists. Oh God, it's gonna bother me.
Not the ads. No,
Oh, sorry.
you're fine.
Inquisitor factions. 40K. Oh, the Ardenites. That's the ones that I'm talking. That's the ones that I'm thinking of.
The Vulcan is a perpetual, but he's the only one of the Primarch that
That's a
is a
perpetual.
true
Yeah.
perpetual.
The Ardenites
The
believe.
others can reincarnate, but through various other ways that is not perpetual.
So wait, am I Mexican? No, I'm not. Why do you ask? All right. So the Ardenites are the is a Puritan uh, sub faction that believes that the power of the God Emperor is likely to manifest through either a group or more likely an entity of the entirety of mankind itself, and those are the people that. And then the Thorians believe that the Emperor's spirit can be transferred to another host referred to as the divine avatar. That one's talking about the Star Children in the Sensei. So the Ardenites and the Thorians are the ones that are like, oh, we gotta take care of this. Okay, Harem King, I don't know why you're asking that question. I'm glad you're on the stream, but you're you're kind of non sequitur, my guy.
I have no idea what was asked.
Oh, on it's on YouTube.
Mm.
Uh, Tick Tick the Hut. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, we're painting Imperial Guard faces right now, and we're talking about the deep lore.
I'm sorry, I started this whole distraction. This is my fault.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I don't mind talking about lore while I'm painting. I just want to make sure that I.
There's just so much lore to talk about. It's
Yeah.
never end.
All right. I, Harem King, I'm just gonna be quite honest. Your comments are pretty random, and I don't necessarily know what you're trying to talk about. Um, so I mean, like I said, I don't mind. I don't mind you being on the stream, and I don't mind you supporting. But if you're gonna be like just absolutely sounds like Darth. Okay. I'm gonna give you a warning. Get with the program, or I'm throwing you in timeout. Like that's that. Like I don't mind you supporting the stream. It's just you you're kind of non sequitur, and I don't know how that's contributing. So there's that. Uh, yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of where the whole Sensei and Star Child thing come into play. Is the Thorians and the Andoranites. Oh, well, I totally butchered that. The Ardenites. A wild autumn appears. Hi, Autumn. How are you?
I sound like Darth Vader. Well, that's a first.
Yeah, like I said, he's being random, so he can either get with the program or he can catch a ban or he can catch a timeout. Uh, anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, that's kind of the deep lore. Hi, Autumn. How are you?
Hello, Autumn.
Doing well. Just building models, coming and out on some streams. Well, I appreciate you joining us. Uh, does the Star Child lore cut into the Emperor's birth to all those ancient psychic sacrifices? No, it's in the same vein, right? So
Oh Lord, I've opened the floodgates.
yeah, we definitely we're deep in this ice cap. So let's take out the power drill and start digging. And start drilling into this ice cap. So
All right, we
for
should start at the beginning.
for those of
Okay.
you that don't know, okay, now this is way back. This is like deep lore, okay? For those of you that don't know about 40K and the God Emperor of Mankind, um, there when 40K just started out as Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader as a role-playing game instead of a tabletop game, instead of like an army game. Um, there was a basically the mythos of the God Emperor, where way back in Anatolia, um, way back, are you talking about the Holy Emperor and his blessed forms? No, we're talking about the God Emperor of Man, you filthy gene stealer cultist. Um, no, so basically, way back in Anatolia, in basically like the beginning of the cradle of mankind and civilizations, the Fertile Crescent area, um, the there were a birth of psychers, right? And these psychers were randomly born throughout the basically the Neolithic, or not the Stone Age, but I would say the Bronze Age of man, before like Babylon and the Hittites and the Assyrian cultures developed around the Fertile Crescent and all that stuff. Um, and basically, what happened was these very powerful psyker shaman came together after they were born and developed their abilities, came together and performed a very ancient and eldritch ritual, basically stealing power from the chaos gods to sacrifice themselves and form the God Emperor, the perfect man, the perfect human. Um, and not only the perfect human, but the perfect psyker. And that's the big kind of selling point of the God Emperor, is that not only is he the perfect man, but he's the perfect psyker in order to challenge the chaos gods. That's the deep lore of the Emperor. Um, so the Star Child portion of it, the reason why the Star Child portion exists within the deep lore of these, it's the Emperor is basically 12 shaman in a trench coat, um, is because the Emperor basically kept living his life at different stages of human development, all the way up into the present day of Warhammer 40K. So at some point, there is an assumption that he did have intimacy, or he did have relationships, or he had some sort of relationships throughout his tenure within humankind, and the Star Children are his literal direct descendants. Like, they have basically copies, or like hints of his DNA, trace elements of his DNA in their body, and trace elements of his psychic gifts in their body. And the Star Children resurrection idea is the Emperor The emperor just needs to write her uh 2.2 billion word count memoir. I'm sick of the lies. I mean, so the emperor, if you read some of the Horus Heresy stuff, the emperor takes any form he desires. He just decides most of the times he's a man. But I think he's taken the form of a woman as well. So there's always that. Take that with what you will. Um,
I mean, even his normal visage during the crusade was not even his real look.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah,
just him.
yeah, yeah.
Going,
And he talks about it with Malkador. He hates. Oh, he hates. He absolutely. I forget which book it was in. I think it was near the end of the death. I think it was during the Siege of Terra when he was talking to Malkator about it, and he was like, "I fucking hate the visage of the Emperor, because that's not him." And he even says it himself. Oh wait, he wrote the Imperial Truth. He did write the Imperial Truth, uh, and I think that was kind of one of his many faults is that he didn't. The fact that he omitted the. If I was to make the Emperor, um, if I was able to fix one of the Emperor's mistakes, the first mistake I would make is not telling his sons about chaos, particularly Magnus. Um,
I don't know. I don't think telling them would have necessarily changed the outcomes of what happened.
oh no, no, I don't think it would have, but I think it would have made the heresy a little bit more spicier. Um, just because I'm a deep rock miner, bald and slightly purple, does not mean I'm a loyal Imperial citizen. Ah, Black Library really needs to publish the Imperial Truth. Um, I don't think they ever will. It's like it's the same reason why they won't publish the I'll buy it. No, like it's kind of fun to think about it, but I don't think it's the same thing of they will never publish the Tactica Imperialis, which is like what the Imperial Guard use for their wars, for like their mission planning and all that stuff. It's the same thing, which is why they'll never publish the Codex Astartes. Um, because it's basically the art of war by Sun Tzu, except it's millions of other things too. So like the Tactica Imperialis will never be published. The Imperial Creed will never be published. The Imperial Truth will never be published. Um, and the Codex Astartes will never be published. Um, People will buy it, but it'll be the most driest reads ever. Um, Maybe not the Imperial Creed because that's more of a religious thing, but they will never. They the one thing that Games Workshop will never do is canonize something that should just be amorphous, and that's what the Imperial Truth and the Imperial Creed and the Tactica Imperialis and the Codex Astartes. They want the Codex Astartes to be amorphous. They don't want to. They'll hint at stuff, and they do it in Warhammer Plus in the show Tithes when the Salamander's talking to the Ultramarine, and they talk about like Lysander's Gambit or the open blade policy or the open blade strategy, whichever when they're talking about fighting those Necrons. Um, but yeah, the Imperial Truth is just edgy atheist thesis on Reddit. Yes and no. The Imperial Truth is about atheism, but it's more throwing the shackles off of traditional religion and off of a belief in a system that doesn't work. Like there's like it's not just an angry atheist thesis. It's backed up by evidence. It's evidentiary based. Um, which you kind of hear some of it in the audio drama The Last Church.
All right, it is 1 a.m. I'm gonna get off.
Oh,
It's been fun though.
Isabella, I appreciate you joining me for this chat. I really do. It makes me feel good. And if you want to join the chat online, when I'm actually streaming in voice chat, join my Discord. Links in the descriptions and all that stuff. Um,
Yeah, join the Discord. That's where we're talking at.
and then we also do community nights. We just finished a we just finished Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie night, where we made fun of exists and dog soldiers. So if you want to get a part of that, um, if you want to be a part of that, please join the Discord, where we'll watch very bad sci-fi movies and make fun of them as we're watching. But Isabella, thank you very much for joining. And
Uh,
when are you going to start your streaming? When are you actually going to start your VTuber stuff?
uh, I've already done a few streams now and then as testing stuff. I'll probably go full into it next year sometime. Probably the start of next year.
Probably start of next year. So,
Yeah,
what?
just I just gotta get my new work schedule set up and everything. I'm having some work changes happening, and that should be set up fully by the time January starts.
Okay, all right. And what are you going to stream? Total War?
Probably gonna do a mix of like Total War, maybe some CK3, maybe some Stellaris,
Okay.
maybe some old PS2 racing games.
Oh yeah,
I'll see.
yeah. So if you want to follow a lovely young woman streamer, go give my gal Isabella some love on Twitch. Um, she's a lovely person, and very knowledgeable in the hobby. Um,
Nah, I'm a noob. I'm stupid.
don't say that. Don't say that. Hey, you kept up with me, and I've been in the hobby for 20 plus years. So, um,
I've only been in the hobby maybe if I can even call it that, maybe a year at most, and I know general knowledge just enough to get by, but not really. I've never delved deeply into the lore to know anything like master anything about anything.
yeah,
I just know enough about everything.
yeah.
Jack of all trades, to say.
Let's play Blood Bowl. Yeah, Blood Bowl's a good game. Blood Bowl's a good game. Ooh,
Bye.
yep. Bye. Bit rate too high. Oh no, what are we doing? I got a warning. Please tell me we're not losing the stream. Bit rate too high. Why is it saying that the bit rate's too high? Average stream bit rate is too high. Those of you who are still watching, can you tell me if the stream is crashing? Because I got a warning that the bit rate's too high. Bit rate's too unstable. Oh, thank you very much for the bits. But I mean the kilobits for the actual stream. Oh, I'm dumb. No, it's all right. I appreciate it. I do appreciate the 1 bit. That's hey, smooth brain moment. Is no, but is the stream good? Like, are you? Can you hear me? Because it's saying that it's my bit rate is like at 300,000 kilobits. It's clear. Okay, all right. Well, maybe it's Twitch that's just being wild. I just don't want to. I just because I do remember the last time we lost connection, it was due to my internet. It wasn't due to Twitch or anything. And you know I do like talking to you guys. I really do. Oh my God. I got that autistic brain, so I take things literally. It's all right, man. It's okay. I've read the Guardsman's uplifting primer. I give it 3 thumbs up. That's pretty funny. All right. Okay. Get back to this. Why is it saying? Why is it saying unstable? It's, I don't understand why it's saying unstable, but because OBS is giving me green lights across the board. Oh well, we'll figure it out. My first game was when I was 16, made up half the rules, and won. I'm 26 now. What, for Warhammer? Yeah, yeah. There are some people like even I struggle with the new rules sometimes. So like I'll think of something and be like, "Oh yeah, it's this." And the answer is no, it's not. Not. He used drop pods for guard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hate that. I really do. There are some factions way back when that could use drop pods that weren't Space Marine based. Chaos Space Marines had drop pods, but they didn't have Trader Guardsmen. Um, but yeah, I whenever you run into somebody like that and you think that they're wrong, it's best to call them out on it and just be like, "Dude, what? How are you? Why are you? Why are you saying this?" And just kind of challenge them from there. Yeah, it's saying that it's unstable. Configuration check. Yeah, I don't know why it's. I have no idea why it's saying it's unstable. Image bitrate. Uh, I watched what the guy did to a kid. Tried to lie I had to speak up. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and good on you. Good on you for speaking up. Good on you for speaking up to somebody that was clearly like taking advantage of a new player. Like everyone should be doing that. Everybody should be doing that because that's the one thing that will harm the community is toxic players that just prey on people that don't know any better. Oh man, I'm getting tired. All right. Stream's still good. It's still saying that it's unstable. It's saying that it's transmitting 42 kilobit, 42,000 kilobits. So I don't understand why Twitch is yelling at me. Maybe what I need to do from now on is like just refresh my internet before I start streaming. That way there's no issues. Probably should start doing that from now on. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, it still says unstable. Hey, if anyone's still watching the stream, can you just let me know that the stream's okay? Like the quality's okay, the sound's okay. I'm not looking tinny. It's not pixelated for you guys. I can't be a good judge because like if I look at my laptop and all that stuff, it's gonna show me what I'm streaming. It's not gonna show me. Um, hopefully it's. Well, I can go to channel. Let's see. I mean, I guess it's showing me everything. Yeah, it's still saying the bit rate's skyrocketing. A bit too high. Machine bit rate too high. I just don't know. I just don't understand because it's. Sorry that I'm like hyper fixating on this. I just don't want the stream to collapse on me. I'm gonna make some more tea. is going on?
If anyone's still watching, can you just let me know in the can you just let me know that the stream's okay? I really do not want something tragic to happen while I'm streaming. That would be very upsetting. Here. Okay. Is the stream good? Like on your end on YouTube? Twitch is just screaming at me saying that the bit rate's too high. It seems fine other than no music. Oh, I'm not. Well, I'm not listening to music. You shouldn't be hearing any music. I was singing. If you want me to sing, I can sing, but well, if it seems fine, then we're good to go. I shouldn't be worrying about it. Me, first my kind, up with a great short baby, survive. And try. There are friends out there like me, and the rest of my kind. And the rest of my kind. Yeah, yeah. I'm the last of my kind. That's it. Receive such lines. Who finds baby drive? Never found another like me. That's my kind. I'm the last of my kind. Yeah, yeah. I'm the last of my kind. Just like me. Been for a long time. Yeah, yeah. I'm the last of my kind. bitch. With my eyes. You gotta fight. Inside. Find love like me. I'm blessed in my kind. Yeah, yeah. I'm blessed in my kind. Yeah, yeah. I'm the last of my kind. Others like me, looking for a really long time. So yeah, yeah. I'm the last of my kind. Kind. I'm the last of my kind. Direct mountains with the mind. There's everything right thinking since I'm life size. I yours baby. It's not time. Oh, we find another like me. 'Cause I'm the last of my kind. Irish eyes. My mother says I have Irish eyes, Irish eyes, Irish eyes. My mother says I have Irish eyes, they're ever so blue in stormy skies. So blues and I let them cry. Rest the soul. The whole hurt one day. Seen you away. But the world and the ones before. 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. Every hope flung high. I'm a map of them all in my Irish eyes. lever. Shallow, shallow brown, bound away to lever. Shallow, shallow brown, shipped on board a whaler. Shallow, shallow brown, shipped on board a whaler. Shallow, shallow brown, leaves tomorrow. Shallow, shallow brown, I leave you with great sorrow. Shallow, shallow brown, Juliana. Shallow, shallow brown, love you, Juliana. Shallow, shallow brown. For $1, shallow, shallow brown, a great big Spanish dollar. Shallow, shallow brown, shallow in the morning. Shallow, shallow brown, just as day is dawning. Shallow, shallow brown. Shallow, shallow brown. Dark night, need someone to hold. There's fire in the cold rain. I'm never gonna let you go. The dark night needs someone to hold. In the cold rain, I'm gonna let you.
Gross. What's great? What is great? What is large? Other translations and greetings. Oh, okay. Well, ich is I, isn't it? Because isn't the B double S? So gross or gross. My German is absolutely large. Oh, okay. The U is what screwed me up. Got you. So I greet you. I greet you. Yeah, okay. All right. I am dumb. It's the U that got me. You're a better speaker. You're a better speaker, or you speak better German as some native speakers. Well, it's just I think I've just perfected an accent. It's not that I speak German well. Um, you know, ich spreche Deutsch wie bisschen. You know, uh, so it's not like I said. I'm not. I wish I was able to like truly speak German fluently. I wish, but I know just enough to get to a translator. You know, English English bitte. But I just think it's because I've perfected an accent that can pass as German. German is a hard language. How long were you in Germany? So I was only in Germany for NATO exercises and deployment training. You know, uh, I was only in Köln for like when I wasn't actually working during NATO exercises or deployment training. I was in Köln for about 5 days, and that was during Carnival. Um, you know, so that was the only really time that I was actually in Germany relaxing, because the rest of the time I was in the Kaiserslautern, um, the military community KMC, and then near Ramstein and Vogüé and Spangalum. Uh, then Cologne, you poor thing. I actually loved Cologne. I loved it. I loved Cologne. I loved seeing the Dom. I loved. Caitlin and I wanted to go see, the old town, and we did. Um, and but we it was funny. We went, I think, in mid-February, and we didn't think it was Carnival. But the first thing we do when we get off the train is we see where we're just like, oh, okay, whoops, my bad, that kind of a thing. Uh, so it was definitely an experience. Because we were going to go see the museums and whatnot, and because of Carnival, everything was shut. But it was fine. It was great. I enjoyed it. It was an interesting experience that we'll never we'll never be able to experience again, and or maybe not necessarily experience again, but we'll never be able to like recreate at the same like the wonderment of discovery of, oh, there's something going on. Um, but yeah, I mean, we had good Kolsch, like a good Kolsch beer, and uh, I was able to get you know you know decent I wouldn't say Bavarian because like Bavaria is not near Cologne, but decent food, like decent good pretzels and speckle, uh, you know um, but I mean, we definitely were there for the degeneracy. I mean, we got off the train and there was just a sea of men and women in fancy dress and like skimpy carnival outfits and, frilly skirts and high heels and stockings, and for the men it was bare chested, deep V cut shirts and very tight pants. But it was a fun kind of discovery. Like I said, it was fun, and the kids portion was cute too. Because when they actually did have the Carnival kids portion, it was so sweet. The kids were like dressed up in their little Carnival costumes and whatnot, and they were getting their candy and all that stuff. Um, and then of course there was the fake military parade, the fake military bands like the Funker Whites or the Blue Reds, all that stuff. Um, so it was definitely, like I said, it was an experience, but I it was fun. It was fun. It was definitely a show. Yeah, it's a little equivalent to Halloween. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. But yeah, we had fun and it was good. I liked cold, and I liked and the when the dom did open up, I enjoyed walking through the dom. Yeah, the Dom's enormous, and I admit that. Yeah, yeah. It was lovely. It was lovely seeing it. And Old Town, what was left of it, was pretty nice too. Altstadt was pretty nice. And like I said, the local Kolsch beer that they brew at in Köln was delicious. It didn't have that kind of acidic taste that American light beers have, and it was decently made, and you could easily get fucked up off of it. You could easily get drunk off of it. So it was fun. Nice to hear that you had fun there. No, I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But knowing what I know now, I'd try and go back to Carnival and prepare for it. Try and find some decent lederhosen and decent. I guess lederhosen's more formal, but like some decent, a decent like Carnival outfit, and enjoy Carnival for what it is. Yeah, I guess lederhosen is actually probably more formal. I don't. I would think it's more like a formal kind of wear. I mean, I guess you wear it for Oktoberfest, so yeah. Lederhosen is Bavaria. Oh, okay, all right. But I thought every province in Germany had a style of uniform or a style of wear for festivals and whatnot. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to this. It's just Bavaria. All the world thinks is German, but we have. But yeah, we have. I have a whole book with pictures. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I thought that every like Saxony, or sorry, not Saxony, Saxon, the Bavaria, and like other like the Rhine area, have like traditional, for lack of a better word, uniforms that you wear for certain events or certain festivals or cultural significance, something like that. Like Lederhosen is Bavarian, but I mean like I thought that there was like a equivalent for each principality.
All Americans think Lederhosen is Germany because just of the Oktoberfest. Oh, okay, I see. Well, like I said, I only used the term because I didn't think it was strictly Bavarian. That's all. My bad. Of course, not all, but many. Don't worry. Yeah, no, no, I understand. There we go. Let's take care of that. Let me go get my tea real quick. Ah, I'm also in America too, and I thought maybe so, I had that proved wrong. Yeah, that's true. I decided to drink my tea out there real quick. That way I can just kind of get back to it. Okay. We're kind of making some decent progress. Just got because we got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Got 13 done. Probably going to do a little bit more, but it's almost 1 o'clock too, so and my eyes are starting to get tired. I don't want to push it. Especially because we're still dealing with bit rate issues. really don't want to. I really don't want to lose the stream because of bitrate issues. How big's my army? The refresh is about to be. Hopefully, when I get done with everything, it'll be 3,000 points. That'll be the refresh. Okay. Oh man. Yeah. As you're getting tired, you're starting to unfocus. Don't overdo yourself. Go to sleep. No, no, no. I can do like two more faces tonight, and I can pick up the stream tomorrow morning too. Mm-hmm. Walnut Street. I'm in totally off my mind. Verses that you left behind. My heart's beating, it's been through my chest. I'm sinking to the finding edge. I think I rated right now. See your way down. I wanted you to know I'm not okay. Run past the warning signs. I can't run to run for cover. I'm not alright. I'm just on these fences. There. off the top sails all day. We got back home. What am I singing? Well, I was singing warning signs from internet friends, and then over and under. I'm just trying to find actually a decent one to listen to. Oh, this one's a good one. This one's kind of soulful though. Last night, we went out in the darkness. Eyes are some things I'll never know. You decided to take for granted. You threw away the sequel. Last night, a rave up where we started. Send our love on a lost cause. Hope for the broken-hearted. Did I feel so far since the day you left? Oh shit! Not forget. Heartbreak came and winter still held on. This is my message in a bottle. Hope you'll never find. Holds all of the remnants of the love you left behind. It's my message in a bottle. Travels space and time. The stories of the world that been with you. I My message in a bottle. Last night I traced the steps taken just to see if I could walk alone. And was wrong, but efforts have forsaken. Never felt so close since the day you left. Learned to forgive, but not forget. All the heartache came and went. I still held on. This is my message in your bottle. I shaved my beard. I shaved my mustache. Yes, I did. I had to. It was part of an exercise. So I had to be in proper uniform. And they were testing our ability for practicing in a chem environment. So I had to shave the mustache. Been with you and I. Gin and bottle. Descent. You threw away the sequel. Last night, we started. Send our love on a lost cause. Hope for the broken-hearted. Why do I feel so far since the day you left? Learn to forgive but not forget. The heartache came and went. I still held on. My message in a bottle. Hope you'll never find. Holds all of the remnants of the love you left behind. Message in a bottle. Travels space and time. The story of the world that could have been with you and I. My message in a bottle. Last night I traced the steps taken. See if I could walk alone. It's forsaken. Never felt so close since the day you left. Learn to forgive but not forget. The heartache came and went. I still held on. Uh, yeah. Well, it was also like 04 in the morning when we took that picture. So I was trying to be in good spirits. Everyone else was exhausted and groggy. Because all like everyone in that picture had maybe bare minimum 4 hours of sleep, or sorry, maximum I should say was roughly about 4 hours of sleep. Message in a bottle. I hope you'll never find.
remnants of the love you left behind. A message in a bottle travels space and time. It's your story of the world that could have been with you and I. A message in a bottle. Since the day you left, without forget, without a game, and I still held on. That's your job. We Germans take jobs very seriously. No, I mean, so the issue was is I was trying to get everybody like into the game where it was like fake motivation because a lot of us were exhausted. I mean, we were just dog tired. We didn't get out of the area for prep until around 6 o'clock at night, and then I didn't get done, and I didn't have like dinner and all that stuff until around 6:30, 7ish, and then I think I finally hit the bed around 8 o'clock, and then I had to wake up at 01, like 01:30, to get ready for work, and then I was at the no, I had to get up at 12 like 12:30 for a 01:30 showtime. And so I was like a lot of us were hurting, a lot of us were exhausted. And there was a lot wrong with the that happened during the execution phase of the exercise. And I wrote my after action report and all that stuff, and or I'm about to, or I will write the after action report. Oh, the MRE? Yeah, I mean, I had two of them. I had the I had the chili mac one, and then I also had the pasta one. The pasta one wasn't too bad. I actually like the pasta one. Had cranberries in it, which was good. Dried cranberries. Yum, no, 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 no. Yummy. Yeah, MREs are pretty good. Well, some of the MREs are pretty good. Others are a fucking wash. You just hate life as you're eating them. Yeah, so MREs are meals ready to eat. I mean, that's like the standard NATO. So MREs are basically that's a standard NATO designation. So everyone should be calling it an MRE. It's just different variants of the MRE, right? Like the Brits MRE has a tea bag in it for their tea. I think the French they have more cheeses in their MRE or whatever the case is, or like bread. The only thing I really enjoyed in the Bundeswehr was the rice. I mean, chow halls are chow halls. You're gonna it's hit and miss with chow halls. But MREs are normally very standardized for specific reasons. Sign of my regret, I will reclaim the night you spent. Sincerely, I wish you never met, but here we are. A message in a bottle. I hope you'll never find. Hold all of the remnants of the lever left behind. It's my message in a bottle. It travels space and time. It's a story of a world that would have been with you and I. My message in a bottle.
I swear we become box of potatoes. There was a sign what said swine feeding potatoes, food for soldiers. Yeah, yeah, I know. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away in break of day to find our lost, forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night. The fire was red, lit flame it friend. What's good for the swine is good enough for soldiers. I'm glad I left. You know, it happens. It light, it moon, the winds will wreath, but in the forest dead being reaves, shadows lay, a field or day, and darkness silent, wrapped beneath, far with light is a light to the night. There is to east of winter. There is teeth. I mean, I've had some bad chow hall experiences before, but most of the time, it's like food poisoning um, in deployed locations. That's what happened to a lot of us actually. I got food poisoning on my first deployment. I had to get my stomach pumped. It was that bad. But most chow halls that I've been to, outside of like the deployments where you do end up getting sick, is fairly good. I don't got food poisoning, but Europe we had harsh depending on the food. Well, so like what happened with us when we got food poisoning is, um, the Air Force it does have safety standards when they prepare food, um, downrange or not, right? And most military organizations within the Department of Defense follows
variations of safety standards when it comes to, like, the Navy has certain safety standards, the Army has certain safety standards, the Marine Corps has certain safety standards. Coast Guard have certain safety standards. Air Force and Space Force have certain safety standards. But it depends on the branch, right? For example, if you're cooking on a ship, they may have different temperature tolerances for food that the Air Force just wouldn't abide by. It's vice same for the Army. Now, I think per DoD regulations, they standardized temperatures, but then what you have when you have DoD regulations is like it's overarching. It says this is what the DoD will do. But then as you're reading that DoD regulation, it says situations can vary, right? Um, they don't elaborate fully the must, shall, will when you're reading those regulations. It becomes very generalized because what the DoD wants is the regulations to fit the branch specifics and then the area specifics. But whenever you deploy, particularly to another country, in a deployed environment like Qatar, Manas, Kyrgyzstan, well, that one's closed now, but Africa, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Syria, wherever the military is, you run into the issue of if you cannot have enough services personnel, particularly with the Air Force, if you don't have enough services personnel to work the all of the services, what you do is you subcontract out to other people, and those subcontractors uh, are third country nationals like Filipinos or in the case of, well, Qatar was majority Filipinos, but some were from Thailand, some were from Indonesia, a few were from India. But you would teach them, but there would be people would just get sick. It always happened that the first 2 to 3 weeks of your deployment, you had what was called the crud bug, and it was because the food wasn't prepared to standard, or the food was locally sourced, so it was grown differently or was prepared differently, and then your stomach gets all kinds of bubbles and all that stuff, and you have bouts of diarrhea and all. You get gastrointestinal distress and all that stuff. The crud bug is real. The deployment bug is real. People get it in swells and troughs and fits and feast and famine, as it were. Um, I think there's only been really one deployment where I didn't get violently sick. Um, or not violent. There's two deployments where I didn't get violently sick. Manas, I had to have my stomach pumped because that was food poisoning. But in Africa, I had pretty bad runs, but that was about it. I had pretty bad, loose stool, but that was about it. Whereas Qatar, I had loose stool, but it wasn't like painful, and it only lasted about a week, week and a half. Um, Djibouti, it was more like a month, I think, and that was painful. Um, Lost a lot of weight though, so you know, take your wins where you can get them, I guess. But it does happen, and once it starts, there ain't nothing you can do about it until it's over. Oh my God, my ears. Oh, my ears, my eyes. Yeah.
we got a few more minutes to plow through. We can do one more head at least. Concussion in my heart. The news is leaving. Body says a chalk outline on the bed that she won't ever sleep in. What special limits in my time? Let me gas, let me crash, let me burn. Oh, down now, taking a beating. There's another man down. I'm dying to be with her. Is your wife also a member of the military? Yes, she was. She got medically discharged. Um, she didn't want to get medically discharged, but the Air Force ran basically a med board and did a battery of tests on her and basically told her, "Hey, your service ends here." So she was a military medic, though. Air Force. She's one of the smart ones. Yes, yes, she was Air Force as well. I was a bomb diffuser team with my dog.
Oh, okay, all right. You worked with EOD and you were canine. That's cool.
Yeah, the dog could smell explosive salad.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, we work with canine too. We actually have drug dogs and bomb dogs as well in security forces. So, yeah, I'm sorry, man, that happened. I know how close dog handlers get with their alphas, so that's really tough. I'm sorry that happened to you. Lord. It's okay. He lived a fun, full life of play and finding stuff. Oh, that's good. That's good. You know, German Shepherds love play. Yes, yes, they do. You have one. Yes, I do. I do have one.
very much have one. His name is Yarick. All right. He's actually asleep right behind me. There's his kennel. Anyway, we're going to end it here because my eyes are slowly starting to unfocus and drift. So, thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate everyone who's been sticking out and whatnot. We'll probably paint tomorrow as well, and tomorrow night we'll probably do. My dog's name was Gary. Oh, okay. And then tomorrow night we'll probably do some Space Marine 2. So anyway, thank you very much. My name is Commissar Hecht. I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Join my Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. We are going to have another MST 3K night during the holidays. We'll probably have 2 of them. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.